Welcome back to Beyond the Page, my lovelies. I'm Lora Tia, writer, reader, and professional overthinker with a microphone. Today's episode isn't a book review, nor is there an author interview, excerpt, or shiny recommendation to add to your cart. Instead, we're asking why stories matter at all. Not in a books of fun kind of way, but in a this is the operating system of humanity way. So get comfortable or don't. Either way, let's go beyond the page. We live in a world obsessed with data, productivity, and optimization, dashboards, metrics, growth curves, efficiency hacks, and yet, somehow, miraculously, we still tell stories. I know what you're thinking. Obviously, Laura, people like entertainment. But this goes deeper than Netflix and bedtime books. So here's the question I want you to think on while you listen. Why do stories matter so much that we never outgrow them? I'll tell you what I think. Narrative is orientation. Before we are anything else we choose to label ourselves as. Before careers, titles, or carefully curated bios. We are human, and humans don't just experience life. We narrate it. I've always thought of stories as meaning-making machines. As children, stories taught us how the world worked long before we had language for logic. They explained things like fear, courage, consequence, love, and loss. They handed us imaginary maps and said, "Here, this is how you survive." We use narrative to make sense of things, to assign cause and effect, and to decide who we are in the story of our own lives. Protagonist, supporting character, background noise, villain in someone else's version. And this doesn't only apply to writers or authors or people who own more books than shelf space. Even people who swear they don't do stories tell them constantly. They just call them something else. Career paths, brand journeys, case studies, testimonials. I could go on. That Instagram story you planned, framed, captioned, and posted, well, what do you know? That is storytelling. That review you left for a product you loved or hated with your full chest, guess what? Storytelling. We've simply rebranded narrative. My writing became a reflection of my imagination and curiosity because I wondered if I could write. And once I realized I couldn't stop. Fiction lets me explore imagined lives, choices, and power vicariously through my characters. Silent Things, on the other hand, is my thinking space, a place where questions roam freely and opinions are softened just enough to be shared. I've written enough heroes and heroines now that it feels like I'm documenting alternate versions of myself. Lives I could have lived, strengths I might have needed sooner. But let's not get too sentimental. The truth is, storytelling runs the modern world. It drives everything, and every single one of us is an author, whether we admit it or not. If you're a 90s baby like me, you remember Shakespeare's All the World's a Stage. Well, if that's true, then our daily choices are the script revisions. Every decision nudges the plot forward, or sideways, or straight into chaos. Even at work, narrative is the invisible engine. Copywriting, media, communications, mission statements, brand voice, founder stories. Branding works because people don't buy products. They buy stories. That's why marketing builds buyer personas. why messaging shifts depending on audience, why leadership, influence, and persuasion all rely on narrative framing. Even a well-told lie is storytelling at its finest, and that's where the cringe creeps in. Storytelling is so deeply tied to our humanity that we can feel when a narrative is hollow. A lie dressed well enough can sparkle. It can sound authentic, convincing, inspiring even. This isn't to brand authors as liars. What we do is different. We create stories for exploration and escape. Authors are often better strategists than marketers because we understand stakes, intention, and payoff instinctively. The difference is intent. One kind of storytelling invites you to feel. The other tries to convince you to buy something you didn't know you needed 5 minutes ago. And if you think stories are just entertainment, I promise you they're doing far more heavy lifting than that. Stories help us endure. People turn to stories during grief, burnout, and uncertainty. Fictional or otherwise, they soothe wounds reality refuses to mend. Fictional worlds feel safer when reality is loud, unwelcoming, and unforgiving. Every story we tell shapes how we see the world and how others see us. Narrative connects us, influences decisions, defines cultures. It's not just an art form, it's a survival mechanism, which is why representation matters existentially. Seeing yourself reflected in a story gives you permission to exist more fully. I write strong female leads who refuse the damsel narrative because that's what I needed when I first picked up a book. I wanted to see courage mirrored back at me. Agency, choice, power that wasn't punished. I write them for myself. And for anyone who needs to see that strength isn't borrowed, but claimed. So why do writers matter, even when it doesn't pay the way we wish it did? My answer is that writers shape culture long before culture has a chance to catch up. Science fiction imagined artificial intelligence before it became an ethical debate. Dystopias warned us before we started living in them. Trends begin in fiction before they become hashtags on Book Talk and Bookstagram. And this is where my love-hate relationship with indie publishing comes in. Writing is an art. And it irks me when the bar is buried underground, when self-published becomes synonymous with careless. The traditional world gatekept quality for better and worse. And while access matters, so does responsibility. Isn't it our job as writers and lovers of literature to carry the torch forward? Stories won't save the world. They're not a miracle cure, but they do teach people how to live in it. And that is more than enough reason for them to matter. Stories matter because humans are narrative creatures. Every conversation, memory, bit of gossip and banter and reflection is storytelling in disguise. So I'll leave you with this. What story are you telling yourself about your life? And more importantly, who's the narrator? And that's where I'll leave you. Not with a conclusion neatly tied in a bow, but with a mirror. Because stories rarely ever end. They echo. We narrate ourselves into courage, fear, our pasts, futures, our worth, failures, and our ambitions. Every day, whether we mean to or not. So if this episode stirred something, if it made you uncomfortable, or seen, or mildly annoyed in a thoughtful way, good. That means it worked. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who still thinks stories are just books. Leave a review, or don't. But do pay attention to the narratives you're living inside. Because whether you write them down or not, you are already telling one. I'm Lora Tia, and this has been Beyond the Page,